Because again, education, knowledge translates into results, right? So when I look at results, I can surmise that somebody has, to a degree, knowledge, right? So when I look at, here's when I look at, results, I'm looking at people that have been around for a long time. They've been financially successful for a long time. They've been through several recessions and depressions. That's why I like old dead people. Me and my marketing team, we were doing a video this week about who I study and who my mentors are. And I told them, I was like, it's old, dead, successful people. Okay, I want to study dead people because I already know what happens. There's not going to be any surprises. There's not going to be an incident of them going bankrupt all of a sudden, or them turning out to be, a fraudulent person or any of that stuff. Right. And so I like the fact that I can read about John Rockefeller. I can read about JP Morgan. I can read about, these Carnegies and these people way back in the day, the Henry Fords, and they're dead. And I can look at the entire thing and I already know that they succeeded and they finished strong, right? And there's also stories of people that didn't. I can read about people that almost did. And then they made a bad decision and they went insolvent, or they went bankrupt, or they went to prison, or whatever it might have been. Right. And so that's a thing that I look at, is when I'm trying to gain a top 1% financial education. What I first did is I started looking at who are the wealthy people. Okay. And there's this more so today, it's pronounced, there's this group of new money and old money, right? You'll see it pronounced on social media of calling people like, okay, boomer. That's old money, right? I don't pay attention to new money. I pay attention to old money, because the old money, that's who you pay your rent to. Old money, like that's who, they made it through the tech bubble. They made it through 2008. They made it through, the COVID thing. They made it through, the 1980s recession. Some of them made it through the 1950s recession. So when I look at old money, they've stood the test of time. And when I'm looking at what plan am I going to follow, I don't want something that's brand new. I want something that's been around for a long time and is proven through various ups and downs. Right. So that's one of the first points I want you to think about. Okay, who am I paying attention to? Who am I looking at in the top 1%? Am I looking at the new money? And new money would be people that are, in the last 10 years, they've become financially successful. Elon Musk is new money, right? Jeff Bezos is new money. Like, these are people that they're relatively new on the scene. We might see them and hear about them. Old money, they're not on social media. Right. You've got to go read, publications, and you've got to read biographies, and you've got to actually like go dig and find out who these people are. Okay. And that's important to me, because I looked at, okay, well, I don't want to figure out how do I buy raise money for a tech company, and sell a bunch of empty shares that have no earnings for a high valuation that's not backed by any. I can't duplicate that. Right. Look at the way that, for example, look at the way that Elon Musk has built his net worth. He sells non-profitable companies to investors, right? He raises a bunch of money on an idea, builds up a company that doesn't usually have profit, and then he sells it somehow for a multiple valuation. The average person can't follow that, right? Like look at what are the components of that? That's not a financial education. That's connections, right? That's kind of like conniving and being a little bit shifty sometimes, and being able to work a deal and finesse things that aren't really there. Like, that's not something the average person can do, right? Versus if I look at a guy like, John Rockefeller. Okay, Rockefeller, if you go, way back in the early 1900s, at that point in time, he was the wealthiest man in United States history. If you take his inflation adjusted net worth in today's dollars, the man in today's dollars was worth almost $400 billion. Think about that, $400 billion. Guys, he didn't have Facebook. Let alone Facebook. He didn't have a freaking telephone. So I think Musk, his net worth is like the mid 200s to high early 200s, right? So we're talking almost double without social media, right? Without telephones, without television, without the news and all these things that we have today, without having airplanes to fly and travel the country. This guy basically with the equivalent of a fax machine. It wasn't even called that back then. They had telegrams. Using telegrams and horseback and these different things, built a $400 billion net worth. So I'm looking at that, and that's who I want to study. I'm like, okay, whether I agree with the guy or not, I want to study that. I want to figure out, what did he do? What was his strategy? Because that's impressive. If you're wondering, what does Wealth Dynamics do? How can we actually help you? Number one, if you haven't gotten a copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom, grab one now. You can get that down in the comments in the video. You can get the link for that. Number two, we do a free course on Fridays on personal finance. Okay, you can also get the link for the description there too. And then finally, if you have a desire to start getting help walking through these different phases toward financial freedom, book a call with my team. Go to our website, set up a call. We're able to help out and answer questions. That's how we can help you. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you turn notifications on, and I will talk to you guys on the next video.